Yesterday was awesome. What did you think, everybody? Yesterday was awesome. We had a fantastic speaker, Chris Rickstrew, and he taught us a lot about our identity and how to connect that with our family in terms of everybody's individual identity. What were the three things he mentioned? I hope you remember. He said, when you make a decision, everything is all about choices. So we stop, we say, what would my lion do? And then the next thing is what? Take immediate action. All right. Okay, so that's why we're here today. And I know some more people are going to be joining us soon. But today is also going to be awesome. We have two great speakers. And the reason we're doing what we're doing, again, I want to emphasize why we're doing this, is because Stella Chicago Center's mission is youth mentoring. It's to connect and unite families, as well as to support orphanages. Everything is all centered around the family. So we're hoping to give, to impact family and to empower families. So thank you to everyone that has joined us here today. Before we go into our speakers talking, and we have Jeff Pierce. Jeff is awesome. I don't even know how to describe the fact that he's here and alive and well is awesome. This is a season in our life where a lot of people are going through COVID-19, testing positive. There's a lot going on in Jeff's life, but he chose to be here. It's a choice that he made to be here. Jeff actually tested positive, I'm right, for COVID, right? And he just fought that battle just a few weeks ago. You were in a hotel quarantine from your family, and he's here. That shows commitment. That is one thing that is a lot of people are lacking. People sway here, sway there. So today we're going to talk about that commitment. I invited a bunch of athletes. I hope they will join. Make sure you find them. So I hope they will join, because everybody, we keep talking about mindset. These days, we're talking a lot about mindset. And that's because our mindset is important to win this race of life that we're in. It's not just in business. It's not just in specific places, but in our families as well. Our mindset, whether our mindset is positive or it's negative, points us in the direction that we're going. So I did a little bit of research. It's about 6:06. So I'll just do a little thing myself before I announce you. And that will also give people time to join. I did a little bit of research and about vision and mission, because I titled today the Family GPS. So the research I did points to the fact that your mission and your vision, just like a lot of companies have mission statements, they have vision statements and all that. The vision focuses on tomorrow, on what that organization wants to become. While the mission focuses on today, what are those steps? What are those things that the organization will do, or what your family will do to accomplish that vision that you have? A lot of companies use them interchangeably, but it's so important that you have both, because one points towards your vision, kind of confirms your direction, while your mission confirms your values. So a lot of companies use the vision and the mission statements because they have certain values, and they hope that the people that are working for them believe in those values, believe in that vision and mission, and they work together for a common purpose towards, I hope everyone can see me. I feel like, yeah. And they work together for a common purpose towards that vision. Like I said, the vision is for the future, while the mission is for now, as in the directions and the steps. So hopefully, by the time we're done today, your family will have their own mission, they'll have their own vision, and we'll see about the portrait that you're going to come up with. Because yesterday there was an assignment. The assignment was all about what's your mission what's your identity. Write your family name and create a portrait for your family, a picture in a picture frame. But today, the assignment is going to be write your mission on one side of your portrait and write your vision on one side of your portrait, but put your family name on the top. By the time we're done, hopefully that will be a lot clearer. It will be a lot clearer by the time Jeff and Shannon are done. Shannon's going to be the speaker after Jeff. And Shannon has a lot of knowledge. She has a lot to share with you. She's the one that wanted you to smile yesterday. So we're hoping that you'll be full of smiles today, that the children will actually be smiling, and you'll take a whole lot from this. What happens when you don't have a vision or a mission? What happens is that if you don't have a vision, there's a lot of misdirection. That is when families go on a road to nowhere because they don't have a common vision. There are problems. There problems come up. People do things in silos. They do things on their own. There's miscommunication. They feel unmotivated to do things. So that's why your mission and your vision are so important. Remember, I said vision has to do with your direction. It gives you direction, and it's for the future. It points towards the future. And your mission confirms your values. There's a reason I had this slide up to show, and I'm just going to do this quickly before I hand over to Jeff. I'm hoping this is up. Well, I can't find it, but maybe towards the end, you see how clearly the mission and the vision for Stella Chicago Center came about. It was easy because we believe in impacting lives. So I'm going to hand off to Jeff, and I will, I'm hoping that more of the people that said they're going to be joining now will start to join in while you start speaking. I don't want to, I don't want them to miss anything, but then again, this is recorded, so they can always watch the replay on Facebook. Another thing I'm going to share in the link is the link to the Facebook page, because it's a page that is just building up now, so that people will start to go to that to look at the videos, to watch the replay, as well as do your assignments. All right. Okay. So Jeff, I'm going to allow you to introduce yourself and tell us what you want to share today. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you.
So Toyin was partially right. I did get tested positive for COVID. Fortunately, I had 3 tests after that were all negative. Okay. And I had a negative, the blood test. Okay. However, while I was in quarantine, my wife, who has stage 4 colon cancer, was taken to the hospital, to the ER. So while I'm in the hospital, I have to worry about her. While I'm in the hotel being quarantined, I have to worry about her being in a hospital. Okay. And she got admitted to the COVID floor. So yes, our life has been a whirlwind the last few weeks. So the way that I get through this hurdles and challenges and adversity is my mental performance training and principles. And I'll share some of that. And hopefully you guys will participate as I go through this. Okay, so let's get started. He's huge! As I'm getting warmed up on the edge of the wrestling mat for what's to be the biggest match of my life, the guy I was about to wrestle was built like Mr. Universe. It was about to be a rematch of David versus Goliath. Here I am, David, not 20, not 30, not 40 years old. I was a tall, skinny old man at 50 years old, and I was about to face Goliath, a 28-year-old Marine with arms the size of my thighs. Yes, my 7-year-old grandson was right when he killed my self-confidence by saying, "Grandpa, are you wrestling that big guy over there? He's huge." So my mission and my vision for stepping on that mat that day was to teach my young wrestlers to be courageous in facing their fears, to go out and do your best in everything you do, to learn from your experiences, win or lose. Now I needed to bring this to myself as I stepped foot on that mat. Just like you, we all face fears of life. The same level of fear as I looked across the mat at my Goliath. The fear of low self-esteem, a lack of confidence, and a lack of focus. I was just like your child, maybe worried about getting embarrassed or made fun of because I wasn't as good as other wrestlers. In the past 15 years, I have helped hundreds of youth, just like your child, to be fearless, full of confidence, knowing their self-worth instead of lacking confidence and a low self-esteem. To be focused on the greatness within themselves, to do their best in sports and in life. I coach youth just like yours to build positive values and belief systems, as well as learn life lessons through sports so that they can live a life on purpose. Over the next 20 minutes, I want to talk about our values and belief systems and how they can shape you and your family's GPS of living a life on purpose. The first thing we'll talk about is, as Toyin mentioned, is the importance of our values. The reason we will talk about this is they are the guide rails of living a life on purpose. Everyone tells us to live a life based on goals. I'm telling you, there is more than that to living a life of meaning. When I think of a GPS, I think of a tool that's used to reach a destination. In life, that could be to achieve a goal of raising great kids, for them to graduate, for have direction of what their next journey in life will be like, to achieve a dream, maybe of being a professional athlete, a dancer, a musician, maybe even a school teacher, or the mission that Toyin has to build stellar Chicago Center to serve hundreds. What is your life's destination? What is your family's destination? What is your purpose? It is vital that we know what we want out of life. For the parents, it could be, how will we provide for our family? How will we raise our kids? What the most important question could be is, how do you want to be remembered as a parent? For kids, what do you want to do with your life, guys? What do you enjoy doing? What makes you happy? The day that I faced Goliath is not a unique story. It's a story of adversity, but we all face adversity. After we get done today, hopefully the parents could share a little bit of their adversity with their child and what they have learned through that experience. I say that as it's through adversity that we grow. We just don't go through it, we grow through it. I believe it's through adversity we find our true purpose. It's through defeat we find our victories. It was that David versus Goliath match that I found my life's purpose of serving others. And it has brought me to being before you today. In my book, Building Champions, I talk about a ladder of success and the success principles it takes to reach success, climbing each one of those steps. Success could be the same as, what is your purpose in life? The most important part of the success ladder are not those steps. I could talk about those steps for days, but the most important part are the guide rails. And it's the guide rails of that ladder have to be the strongest part, just like they have to be the strongest part of our life. And that's our values and our beliefs. Write that down. Your values and your belief systems are the most important guide rails to your life. Yesterday, Chris gave us some great insights on finding and being your lion. The 4 words that describe could be the guiding force of how you live your purpose. A few of those words, or maybe all 4 of them, may represent your values, your guiding force. The values that you live your life by are the guide rails to keep you on your GPS track of living a life on purpose. When we get done today, take a few minutes and list your values and what they are for your guide rails. Be sure they are in alignment with the purpose that you want to serve in your life. Choose your values wisely, as they will shape the rest of your future. Now, to take that one step further, as you list your values, write down 2 or 3 rules that govern if you are living that value to its fullest, or are you in misalignment? Let's say one of your values is love, as Toyin shared yesterday. What's it mean to be loving? What's the definition of love? Sit down with your family and have that discussion. Is it just saying kind words and a kind embrace to somebody? Is it of being service and helping others? Is that what love is? As you have a family discussion about your values, you become more connected. As you understand the rules of your value, you become more connected yet. And once you do this as a family, I urge you to do it each individually, especially when you get to your teenagers and above. Understand what your values and what the rules are that guide you in your value system. Okay? Once you do it individually, sit down collectively as a family and discuss them. Because the major point of this exercise is to have the members of your family help tell you if you are living your life and showing up in person to the real world by your true values. Now let's move on to the next, and that's belief. It's our belief that will hold us back sometimes. It's the lack of self-confidence and self-esteem. The biggest Goliath we all face is the man in the mirror or the woman in the mirror. It's the thoughts in our head, the little voices that come to us, that have us take a detour and turn down the wrong road, and all of a sudden we're not on track to our GPS. We all have limiting beliefs. We aren't good enough. We aren't smart enough. We're not young enough, in my case, or maybe for the kids, you're not old enough. We need to have confidence and not let the voices in our head hold us back. I believe in you, and you need to believe in yourself. Now is a perfect opportunity for our parents to discuss with their children about their thoughts in their head. Our child is building foundational beliefs right now. With the right guidance, we can help them avoid limiting beliefs and instead build confidence and self-esteem that will carry them on through life to live in a life on purpose. Yesterday, Chris talked about getting out of your head and into your heart. I couldn't agree more. I love that. I liked how he said the first thing you must do with the thoughts in your head is to stop. In my mental performance training, we go a little step further. So if you could all stand up, or at least sit straight up, close your eyes, and take a deep inhale through your nose and hold it. Now exhale. Let's do it one more time. Become present and focused. Inhale. Hold it. Exhale. Now as we do it the third time, take what Chris taught you yesterday and ask yourself, what would your line do? if you had a decision to make. Inhale. What would the lion do? Exhale. See, it's my belief that we must not let the voices in our head control those decisions. And when you do that exercise, you become present and calm and relaxed. Okay, you find alignment with your feelings and emotions of what's in your heart so you move forward. Well, I'm going to tell you a little secret here. Think of your GPS as a PGS. And PGS is your personal guidance system. And why do I say that? Everybody's heart is different. We're all different. So you don't have to follow a GPS where everybody uses it. Follow a PGS, your personal guidance system. It's your values, your beliefs. It's your outcome and destination and your life purpose that you are going to follow. So I recommend to the parents and the kids sit down together after this and discuss what is your family's PGS, personal guidance system, and how and what is your family's life on purpose look like. I'll walk you through another exercise that I learned from my mental performance coach, and I can tell you, going through everything I have with COVID and with my wife's cancer the last 4 years, this is an exercise that has helped me get through those tough days. I want you to get out a piece of paper and a pen, and on the left side of the paper, write down these letters: R, E, S, P, A, RESPA. I'm going to tell you what each one of those letters mean and the importance of them. R is to relax. This is when you take those deep breaths we just did. This is a time to become calm and present. As you're facing adversity or you're trying to make a choice or a decision of what to do and how you're going to move forward and make those tough decisions, be relaxed. E then is for evaluate. This is similar to asking your lion, what would he do? Are you getting into your head? Are you coming from a place in your heart? Living from your feelings and your emotions. Follow your PGS, remember, your personal guidance system. S is for strategy. This is where you make that choice, that decision that Chris was talking about, that decision to move forward. And this is where you have to analyze, is it in alignment with your values and beliefs of what your life's purpose is? Now we get to P. Before we rush into action, we're going to take one more moment of patience. P is for patience. Take another deep breath or two, calm and centered. And then A, like Chris said yesterday, A is for action. This is where you move forward. Now this RESPA process is something that you can do in anything in life. I teach athletes how to use it in the field of play, to use it in a clutch or pressure situation. For the guys I mentor in business and the professionals, they use it to make big career decisions, okay? For parents can use it when they're stressed about work-life balance. And I know, having been asked to speak about work-life balance, that is a huge issue when you're trying to raise a family, okay? How do you have that work-life balance and have a life on purpose? RESPA will help you through that process. When you get stressed out from work and the kids, you can use RESPA. Kids, guess what? You can use RESPA when mom and dad want you to do something and you have to think about the stress that you have of being asked to do something. This is a great time to, like, exercise to use when you face any adversity, okay? And one of the most common questions I get asked is, Jeff, can you help my child become more motivated and confident when they face adversity in life? And yes, I can. RESPA is one of those processes that we use. See, I have coached youth individually and has coached youth and parents. And I have a new program that will be rolling out in August. And I mentioned when I spoke with Toyin's group before that I had something special today. So I'm looking for 10 youth, ages 12 and up, that will be willing to do a beta test with a program. This will be a weekly coaching calls. This will be done individually with the youth or with the youth and the parents. I work mostly, as you can tell, with youth athletes, so the program will be geared with sports analogies. The goal is to help youth build character traits, leadership skills, and for the youth to learn success principles through daily habits and rituals, talking about our values, our beliefs, and so much more. They will learn what it takes to live a life on purpose. Whether your child is a beginner athlete trying to get on a team or thinking about playing sports, a mid-athlete, level athlete trying to get more playing time, or an elite high school athlete looking to get that college scholarship, this program is for you, and I will gear it specifically for those in attendance. Don't worry, you don't need to pay $100,000 like I have for all my mentoring, coaching, and personal development growth. The course will sell for $497 when it's completed, but as a beta test, I'm offering it to Toyin's group today for only $97. What has taken me over 20 years to learn, I will present in an 8-week course. And you can email me at Coach J Pierce, and that's PIERCE @gmail.com. That's Coach J Pierce @gmail.com to learn more. So imagine, parents, a day when your child is stepping into all they do with confidence and commitment to their values and beliefs in themselves. Imagine a day when your child comes to you with a smile on their face and says, Mom, today I had a great day. And on top of it, I helped my teachers help others. It felt fantastic. Imagine a day when you can watch your young child as they are achieving their goals and dreams, and they are living their life on purpose with their family. Many times that I get asked when I come to the end of a presentation is, who won that David versus Goliath match? And of course, I won that match. I won that match because my goal was not to win on the scoreboard. It was about helping youth I coach to learn to go out and do their best. And win or lose, learn from that experience. Remember, that's my purpose and my mission. So today, I am living my life on purpose because of the steps I took in facing my Goliath. Thank you, Toyin, for allowing me to speak.
Wow, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Jeff. After everything, you are the great example, of 2020 feeding that Goliath, because the Goliaths come every now and then. They just don't come once and disappear. They come again and again, and we have to be prepared for that battle. And that's what Jeff has given us today. Thank you for the offer. I put in the chat the email. If you want to be coached by Coach Jeff in terms of mindset, if you're an athlete, or if there's anything, I'm sure you do it for adults too, but if there's anything, yes, he's offering it for 10 people at a low price. So send an email to Jeff, and I know you will not be sorry. He's very generous, as you can see. after all he's been through is here at this time. So thank you again, Jeff.
Thank
Remember,
you. I appreciate the opportunity. I'll be around for any questions that anybody may have at the end.
yeah. So if you have any questions, table it, and it can be a question for our next speaker or for Jeff. Just remember switching your GPS to your PGS, your personal guidance system. Okay, everybody has it, and remember, relax. Whenever you have to make a tough decision, relax, evaluate, strategize, be patient, and take action. And everything is just tying together. The what would your lion do? And this and that. It's all about taking action at the end of the day. So thank you again, Jeff. And thank you, everybody that just joined. You can watch the replay. Thank you. You can watch the replay on the Facebook group. And I'm going to put that in the chat as well. It's a group that is just beginning to build. So don't think you missed out if you just joined now. You can always go back and watch the replay. Thank you again. Thank you so much, Jeff. So our next speaker, all the way from Canada, is Shannon. So a lot of us are here in the States, and but Shannon has a wealth of knowledge. I'm not going to say too much about her as well. I posted a lot of the bios of the speakers so that I won't take away from the time. So I'm going to have Shannon do her thing. She's a life coach, and she's also going to keep going on in terms of our mission for today, which is the Family GPS. And the Family GPS, like we said earlier, is all about our mission, our vision, our values, our purpose. And Shannon is just going to take it away for us. Thank you so much, Shannon.
Well, thank you. Just give me a second. This is my first time sharing a screen, so let's hope this goes well.
You'll be fine.
There we go. All right. First, I'm going to start off by apologizing. I have a cough. I've just discovered a few days ago that there's something in all of that hand sanitizer that I'm allergic to. So I've been fighting this cough, so please forgive me if it happens once in a while. So, yep, my name is Shannon. I'm a family life coaching consultant. I help families find more balance through strengthening their family unit, and I've created the Family Life Design. Family Life Design is about designing an intentional culture for your family that builds a supportive foundation for your family life. It is the best and first place to start on your journey to that dream life that you have for your family. So, to start everything off, I'm going to do something really weird and talk about, oh, is it going to do it for me here? Talk about cars. Why would I talk about cars? Well, when I'm thinking of cars, I think of two types of people in this world. There are the people that wait until their car breaks down to get it fixed. And then there's the people that maintain their car and take it in for regular checkups. Now, if you look at the guy that's waiting for his car to get fixed because it broke down, he looks a little stressed. He looks a little frustrated, probably because he didn't expect the car to break down. He had a busy day. Maybe he had a special meeting at work now that he's going to be late for. So it can cause a lot of friction in your life. The lady, though, on the other hand, who took her car in to get it regularly maintenance, doesn't seem so stressed because she booked an appointment ahead of time, worked around her busy schedule to have that mechanic do some maintenance on her car. Now, when we do that, take our car in, the mechanic can look at it and see if anything is going to potentially break down soon so we can be proactive in getting it fixed before the car breaks down. Unfortunately, the guy didn't do that, and he waited for his car to break down before he sent it to the mechanic. And the problem is the mechanic fixed it, but then a few days later he had to bring it back. Because what happens is, and I know this very, very well because I used to be this guy, that I wait for my car to break down, take it in, the mechanic would fix it, and then it would be a snowball effect. And the car would break down with something else, and then something else, and then something else. And it was really frustrating because it was really interfering with my life. But if we maintain the car and take it in for those oil changes and tune-ups, it helps the car perform better, it lasts longer, and we're not so stressed. So let me ask you something. Where is your focus in life? Is it on the problem or is it on the solution? So looking back at these guys here, who do you think is focusing on the problem and who's focusing on the solution? Well, the person focusing on the problem is the guy getting his car fixed because he waited too long to get the mechanic to look at it. And the one who's focused on the solution is the one who's being proactive and getting maintenance done on her car. Why on earth am I talking about cars? Well, let me tell you something. I've been working with families for about 30 years, hands-on with kids, okay? And there's one thing that parents have come to me over all these years, and it's the same thing. I'm so stressed, I'm overwhelmed, I'm exhausted. Shannon, can you fix my kids? Can you fix their behavior? They're out of control. I have to yell at them to get them to listen. They won't go to bed at night. We're not sleeping. The temper tantrums and the kids are fighting. I don't know what to do. And so I'm like, oh, I'll pull out my toolbox and I got all the strategies and techniques to help them. I give them the solution. I teach them how to do it. They go home, they work with their families, and they've got some improvement. It's a success. But then the parents come back again with another problem. Fix this, with another problem. Fix that. Fix this, fix that. They're constantly chasing the fix. And I'm thinking, well, this is really good for business. You know, people like what I do. They're coming back for more. But this isn't what I signed up for as a life coach. I'm trying to help people live their best lives and make their dreams come true and help everything run beautifully in their lives. But that wasn't happening with all these families. And so I thought about it and I'm like, they're all living in a reactive state where they're responding, reacting to all the things that are happening in their lives, and they're constantly chasing to fix it. And I call this the control factor, because you're always trying to control your life. You're trying to control the things that are going on, control your emotions, control your behavior. And the thing is that when we live like that, we don't really get very far. We're kind of like a hamster running on a wheel and we don't go anywhere and we're exhausted. And so I want parents to not live in that chaos and not live in the drama. And I don't want kids to do that either. So I want you to live in your power. I want you to create the life you want. That's why we're here today, is to learn how to create the life that we want. Well, how are we going to go about doing that? Let's talk about a tree. You're thinking I'm wacko, right? We're talking about cars and we're talking about trees. But let's look at the tree. It's a pretty tree. It's got lots of leaves. It looks fluffy and it's healthy. It's got a really good root system that goes deep into the ground to pull all those nutrients up to feed the tree, to make that trunk really big and solid so that it can support the tree and all the height and the expansion of the branches so it can fill with all those beautiful leaves. Look at that tree. That tree is your family, is what we want your family to be. Not your family tree with your ancestors where you find out who your great-great-great-great-grandfather is. This is your family right now, or where you want your family to be. It depends where you're at. For those parents that were coming to me stressed out, this is what their tree looks like. There's no leaves on their tree. All we see are all these problems and no leaves, because all those problems are the disease on the branches of the tree. And when the disease is on the branches of the tree, it can't make the leaves. It can't blossom and flower. It can't be nice and big and healthy. And so every time those parents come to me with a problem and they're stressed out, I give them the solution, but what's really happening is this: a Band-Aid, a Band-Aid, a Band-Aid. When we all know when we put a Band-Aid on an ouchie, that it just covers the ouchie, it doesn't actually heal it. We wait for our body to do that for us. But the Band-Aid's not fixing the problem, it's just covering it. And that's what's happening every time the parents come to me with one thing after another, chasing the fix, chasing the fix. We're not solving the big problem. We just keep looking at the problem instead of the solution. So what do? Well, we want our tree to look like this. So how do we do that? Well, at the bottom where the root system is our foundation. It's the stability, it's the base of our family. And we need to build that base so you can grow and flourish together as a family. We need to get that root system nice and solid. And then we're going to work on the structure and get it strong so it can be the backbone of your family. So in case you make a mistake or something comes at you in life, you've got that stability and you've got that strength of your family to get through it with ease and to get through it with a support system. But these families don't really have that because their branches are diseased. We want to feed that tree with lots of nutrients to keep it healthy so that it'll make those beautiful leaves and we can have the ultimate dream life that we want, the vision for our families, so we can soar and thrive and do wonderful things in our life. So moving forward with that, I want to go back. Oh no, sorry, before we do that, we need to ask 3 questions before we move on. So when people come to me to the Family Life Design, we need to answer these 3 questions before we move on. So this is what we tackle the whole process. Who am I? Who are we? What's the best version of myself? What are my qualities? What are those values? What are those principles that I live by? That's everything that Chris was talking about yesterday. Being the lion and not the sheep. We already talked about that. Next thing, what do I want? What do we want as a family and where are we going? Do we even know what we want? Do we even know where we're going in life? We need to ask this. And when you do that, this is where you start to visualize what you want your life to look like, what that dream is. And what I want you to do is when you think about that is what does it look like? But most importantly, how does it feel when you achieve that? What's it going to feel like when you're already there living your dream life? What's it feel like? Because feelings are very powerful and they can motivate us sometimes. So we need to know what it feels like and what it looks like. And lastly, we need to know how we're going to get there. Because if we're like the guy that waits for the car to break down and have to fix everything, we lose sight of that main goal, that great big dream in the sky that we want for our families. So we need to know how we're going to get there. We need to plan out that action. And of course, again, action. Jeff was just talking about that. You need to take action, and that's what we're going to talk about here next. So I want to go back to yesterday. Chris talked about those 4 lion identity words, right? This is your new identity, not the sheep. The person that you should be is the lion. Okay, we're going to take action now. So we're going to take the next step. This is what we do with the Family Life Design. We come up with our personal signature statement or our action statement. Something that we tell ourselves to keep us inspired and motivated to stay in our lion identity and charge forward in our lives. I'll give you an example. Because my family, we have our own action statement. I have a daughter, her name is Piper. She's 16, and her action statement is be your own kind of beautiful. Now these are lyrics to a song by Jason Gray. And when she heard the song, she was really inspired. And so these words mean so much to her because it reminds her to be authentic, to be herself, that it doesn't matter what anybody else is doing, that she can be herself and be her own kind of beautiful. We're all different. Not one of us on this earth is alike. Not even twins, not even triplets. It is scientifically proven that they are not 100% identical. We all have our own likes and dislikes. So it's so wonderful that we can all be beautiful and shine because there's not another one like us. And that reminds her of that. And that keeps her motivated and moving forward. Now my son, his name is Kobe, he's 21 years old. He was born with a developmental disability and he has a behavioral disorder. He has obsessive compulsive disorder. And so through the course of his life, he's been challenged. He's had to overcome a whole ton of things. And what you and I take for granted for all those normal, regular, everyday things that we just learn and do and are able to accomplish with ease, he had to fight for. He had to work hard for. And so we needed to come up with a mission statement for him that would just be so powerful to keep him motivated, working hard and achieving all those things that he's already achieved, but to keep him going. And this is what he come up with. I can be anything and everything I want to be. I can be anything and everything I want to be. And it's attitude and it's grit and it's strong and it keeps him moving forward. And the thing is, whenever you meet my son, I'd love for you all to meet him. He is the kindest, sweetest, gentlest soul. We call him the big lug. We call him the gentle giant because he has so much compassion. Now, to tell you a little bit about my son, he's 21 years old now. He was born with this disability. When he was about a year old, we almost lost him. He got very sick and he almost died. And at that time, I remember the doctors telling me that he probably won't progress any further than where he is now. He may never walk, he may never talk, he may just sit there, and we'll have to take care of all of his needs. Well, he fought hard, we worked hard. My son is 21, and this year he graduated from high school with a full diploma. That was never expected for him. He also received the Citizenship Award because he's so kind and supportive of his friends, his peers at school. That made me cry. When he got the Citizenship Award, it was like, that was it. I was a basket case. And he's also achieved his junior black belt in Kempo Karate, and he has come home with trophies and awards, first, second, and third place in tournaments that he's been involved in. So he's worked very hard to get where he is today. That mission statement that he has right there, that action statement, has been the world to him. Now my mission statement. This was a bit difficult because there's a lot of things that I need to stay motivated for. It's been a rough time for me over the years and the things that I've been through and that I've had to overcome. But I'll tell you something. I learned a big lesson because I had to really look inside myself and figure out what I needed to do the most for me. And that was, I had to realize that I wasn't making my own decisions for my life. I was too scared to trust myself in the decisions I was making. I would turn to everyone else and ask them what they think I should do. And I would do what they tell me to do. And that's how I lived my life. And guess what? It wasn't very good because what these people would choose for me really honestly wasn't the best thing for me. But I listened to them and I trusted in them. I trusted in them more than I trusted in myself. And I found myself in some big trouble. So I needed an action statement that would keep me moving forward. And here it is. Don't laugh because I'm an old lady and this is my mission statement. I am my own superhero. And I'm going to tell you, as funny as it is for me, because I can laugh at it, it is so powerful for me because it reminds me that I can do this. Even if I fall and make a mistake, guess what? It's my mistake. And I'm going to learn from it and I'm going to keep moving forward. And this statement has been so powerful for me. So I'm going to give you a little something to go along with this one because this one's really awesome because I don't need Superman and I don't need Batman anymore. But this is what I do. Everybody, if you can, I want you to stand up. Actually stand up. Put your feet apart. I want you, stand up. Stand up. If I stand up, you're going to lose me. So I'm just going to sit really tall. Put your feet apart a little bit. Put your hands on your hips. And I want you to look up. And I want you to feel like a superhero. I'm powerful. So what you're going to do is you're going to stand there like a superhero and you're going to say, I am my own superhero. I am my own superhero. Now you're going to say, I am powerful. With that chin up, I am powerful. And now we're going to do what Chris told us to do. I am a lion. I am a lion. Okay? That stance, standing up with your feet apart, standing tall with your hands on your hips with your chin up, has been scientifically proven to improve your mood, your confidence, and your power. It puts you in your power to drive yourself forward. And if you can do that once, every day is just stand there in that superpower pose. Take a deep breath and tell yourself you're powerful and you're a lion, and it'll make a difference. I guarantee it. You give it a try. All you kids. And you know what? I'm talking to the kids mostly today, but parents, this is for you too. So I'm going to take you one step further in what we do in the family life design. This comes a little later, but this is when we pull all of this together, our lion identities, all three of us, this is my family here, and our action statements, and we come up with a family action statement, our mission statement. And Toyin was talking about our mission statement, our mission as a family. So the kids and I, well, my kids aren't kids anymore, they're pretty much grown. But when they were a little younger, we put this together and we come up with our action statement. I'm going to show you. It's one word, just one word, integrity. Now, some of you might not know what integrity means, but your parents do. But integrity for us means that we are going to be the same. We're going to be who we are and genuine to ourselves as we are to everyone else. It doesn't matter if someone treats us bad. It doesn't matter if someone treats us like a queen or a king. We treat everyone the same with the same amount of dignity, respect, and compassion. My kids and I have so much compassion, more the kids do than even I think myself, but in our own way. And it's been like that since they were little. And I really honestly believe that kids have a ton of compassion because you're free and open to just accept people and love. And my kids each had their own way of showing compassion. My son, when he'd see someone upset or crying, he would be driven and just be like a magnet to them to want to hug them and give them his joy. And my daughter wanted to wrap up, she had some pennies in her piggy bank, and she noticed that some of the kids at school weren't eating lunch. And she thought that they didn't have any money for lunch. So she used to wrap up, when she was little, all her pennies in wrapping paper. And she used to take little stacks and she used to give them to these people at school. She's a giver. And so that taught me a lot, that my kids just naturally had that within them. And so it drove me to show and feel more compassion for people. And so this is what my family lives by. We always come back to this. We treat ourselves and everyone else with the same dignity, respect, and compassion. And this is just tying up a little bit of what we do in family life design. There's a whole lot more in there, but I wanted to give you a basic outline. It's everything that Jeff was talking about today. It's everything that Toyin is saying, and even everything that Chris had said yesterday. And it's really, really important for you to come together as a family, build your solid foundation. Let's put together a strong structure so that we don't have to worry about all of those yucky things that can disease our lives and keep us from being the best that we can be. Thank you.
Oh, thank you so much, Shannon. Thank you. Thank you very much.
So how do I get out of this? Stop share. There we go.
A lot of nuggets for everybody to take away. There's so much. I was writing. There are a lot of notes, you know, and it all ties together with what everybody has been saying, even since yesterday, about our identity, about our mission, our vision, our values, and all that. So Jeff and Shannon, thank you so much for what you brought to the table today. That it just tells us again that, and what we started off was, we're building a portrait. Yesterday, I held this up saying that love above all things. So we're building that portrait for our families, where your homework today, like I said at the beginning, Shannon gave us even extra homework to do. If you can go to the Facebook group that is, it's called the Family Hour Challenge. If you go to that group, you they will share their businesses as well if you want to do something with them. And do your assignment there. I'm going to put it out in units. The assignment today is to talk with your family. The whole idea of this is to talk with your family. Come up with your personal statement. And then on your board, we have all this. I have a lot of, color it out. Come up with your mission statement and your vision statement. Remember how I was saying in the beginning that your mission is all about what you're doing now. Your vision talks about your future. Your vision, every company, even businesses, and it's the same way we're handling our families. Their mission statement and their vision statement work sometimes interchangeably, but they are both needed because that vision focuses on tomorrow. What's your business going to be like? What is your family going to be like? Like their family, because they've talked it out, they keep living it. Because they have it written down, they keep living it. So my children are very kind. They're very, very kind to people. They're very, very welcoming to people. And that's because that's what our family embraces. We talk things out and we're kind. We show kindness to ourselves and we can show kindness to others. So there's a lot of nuggets. I can't even go over every single thing now, but have a personal statement. Each person in your family, come up with your personal statement. Post that out in the Facebook group and your action statement collectively so that you can come up with that design. Remember, at the end of the day, we are coming up with 3 portraits, 3 paintings or however you want to call it, on your poster board or on your canvas or whatever it is that you're using to draw. The first homework from yesterday was what would your lion do? What would my lion do? Then write your family name, and then at the bottom just write what your identity is. How do you see your family? It might be 3 things, it might be 1 thing, just like Shannon had in her family. And then today, write your mission and your vision. Okay. You can go to the Facebook group and watch the replay. It's about 7 o'clock right now. So we're just going to take, I know the previous family registered at the VIP level, so they can ask more questions. But if anybody has a question for Shannon and Jeff, please ask now. Feel free to ask. Ask now. This is a time when we can ask questions. The hour is up. The presentations are done. So if anybody has questions, you can. Yesterday, I know there were some questions in the chat that we didn't look at, but let's see. So I don't see any questions right now, but if you want to ask questions, you can go off mute and ask any questions.
Guys, I don't see you smiling, man. Oh boy. If I was in the house with you right now, man, I would be acting like a silly woman to make you smile and laugh. There it is. Look at those pretty smiles. Come on. There we go. Yeah.
Yes, we see your smiles now. So does anybody have questions, whether it's for Jeff or for Shannon? That ladder that I want to say, Jeff, can you repeat what that ladder was? What are the rungs of the ladder again, Jeff? Some people joined late, so. We can't hear it.
Take your mute off. There we go.
The runs of the ladder are different success principles, okay? And for every person, they're different, okay? But the bottom of the ladder is basically the foundation of our thoughts, okay? And then from there, you can move up to basically your goals, understanding your mental mindset. And we talk about mentoring and the importance of modeling. And that's where you're going to find a person that has achieved what you've already achieved and model what they did. And then we get into various success principles. And I generally don't get too focused on anything in particular till I sit down and coach people individually. You know, we'll talk about things like affirmations and declarations and the importance of visualizations, okay? Seeing it before, you know, you achieve it. And everything starts with our thoughts, okay? as I coached a football camp 5 years ago, and I never coached football. When I was growing up, I never played football. And I went and I talked to the kids about 2 success principles: the power of focus and the power of teamwork. One of the other success principles on the ladder of success. Focus, teamwork, focus, teamwork. We didn't practice anything physical about the game of football. And our team, out of 28, had the most points scored. And we were undefeated. And we went to the Super Bowl. And we lost on the last play in overtime from a guy that never coached football. And I was coaching against ex-NFL players, high-level collegiate coaches, specialty coaches, as well as state of Texas state champion coaches. So it's this simple. Everything we want in life, kids, everything you want in life is between your 2 ears. Focus on what is here, and you can have anything you want. Go after it. It's all yours. I believe in you.
Wow, thank you so much. You know, I believe strongly in the power of, and I think that was why we connected. I believe strongly in the power of your words, and your words come from your thoughts. And I know there's a common thread between everybody that's been here. It's all been action. At the end of the day, we want to take action on our thoughts and our words and our actions. And everything comes from within. As in what you see on the outside is coming from within. So everything is in between your ears. Yeah, you're right about that. So I want to thank you. Thank you so much, Jeff. Does anybody else have questions? I don't know if any questions, any additional questions? Nobody? Becky, are you there? I see the baby there in the room. I know your kids had questions yesterday, and I don't know if your husband is here today, but I know that you signed up at this level to ask questions. You're on mute, I think.
Go ahead.
Mr. Jeff, what was it like when you were wrestling?
It was awesome, buddy. But you know what? I was never a good wrestler in school. Okay? And I saw more lights looking up because I was getting pinned than I did winning. And that's why I teach kids today. Whether you win or whether you lose, there's a learning experience. So don't ever be upset if you lose. Because whether you lose or whether you win, you can learn something from it. And it's most of the time when you lose, you're going to learn the most. Okay?
And you're always not going to be the best.
Say it again,
Yep.
Brendan.
So you're always going to not be the best.
You won't always be the best. That's right.
That's right. That's right.
That's
You
okay.
always,
Brendan be in it too.
you go out there, no matter what you do, whether it's in sports or it's in school or doing chores, or helping mom and dad, you do your best. And the best is the best you can do.
Yeah.
Okay?
Cool.
So you remember that one little thing, and it will make a difference in the rest of your life. Do your best in everything.
That fighting and you lose, that's fine.
That's fine. That's right.
You learn from it.
No.
Yeah. So does anybody have any other questions? You know, any questions? There's time. There is VIP level question, and then everybody else can ask questions too. You can ask questions if you want. Anybody? Nobody has questions. Nobody has questions for Shannon.
I'll just add something then, even if no one has a question. Oh,
Yeah.
did someone have a question?
I do. What was it like to have like special needs child?
for you.
Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what it was like. It was stressful sometimes. It was awesome sometimes. You know why it was awesome? Because my son taught me more about life than I ever would have learned if I hadn't have had him. The person that I used to be, or I think I'm still kind of a little bit, was go, 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 go. I was on a mission. I had to accomplish what was on my list for the day. If I wasn't busy, I didn't feel right. I felt almost guilty because I wasn't doing anything. So I was like, oh, I was really, really wired and really high strung. And I never stopped. You ever heard that saying, and stop and smell the roses? Yeah, I didn't do that. I never stopped to smell the roses. I was just go, 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 go. And when my son was born, he was all about smelling the roses. He would just sit back. He could sit back on a bench on downtown. If you ever have, like, you have a downtown where you sit on the bench and you watch the cars go by. We could sit there all day and just watch cars drive by. Time does not matter in my son's world. This boy taught me to just slow down and enjoy each moment, because I never did that before, and I missed out on so much life. I missed out on what life was all about until he came along, and I fought against it. Trust me, I tried to get him to be a go, go, go kid, and he just wasn't. So, but he's a loving, gentle soul. He has always been sweet and compassionate. And like I said, when you're around someone like that all the time, it puts that in you, and you can't help but to just absorb that in. And that's what it was like for me. Yeah, there were challenges. His behavior sometimes was hard, you know, but what I'm talking about today, about all of that, building a foundation and the tree and all of that stuff, was to let you know that there's more than just dealing with the behaviors, right? There's a whole lot more to it than that. And when you build that foundation and you get a strong family and you unite and you're close, and like Toyin said, you gotta communicate and talk and get close with your family and trust in each other and build a bond. All of that behavior stuff, all those troubles, they just seem to resolve all on their own without a lot of work. It's really miraculous. So, yeah, I'd love for you to meet him someday. Would love for you to meet him. He would love you guys. He really likes being around children. So, yeah.
That's kind of how sometimes I feel with my brother. He's special in these too.
Yeah.
Okay.
What's his name?
Toyin.
Moyin. His name is, yes.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I didn't even know that they were going to make that connection here, but you know, and that's the thing about life. A lot of times we go through different things, and we go through it so that we can help somebody else understand what we've just been through. That is a concept of, as in, we go through a pain so that when somebody else is going through that same kind of pain, we're able to help them understand and help them deal with that pain as well, or deal with whatever it is. It's almost like what you just described reminds me of what's happening right now with COVID-19, where everything just stops. Like there are not too many cars on the streets now. There are not too many places open. But at the same time, just last year, we were hustling and bustling all over the place. So what happened? What slowed that down? What made all those things that we were running after not matter so much now? You know, so it was like we were forced to smell the roses, and so it's all a part of life. But I believe that there's a big lesson in what you've said. In the company we keep also matters, because we affect one another. How we deal with something affects one another. And that's why the children that are here right now, the company they keep matters. If they're around a lot of negativity, if there's a lot of negativity in the family, then it affects how they think about things. If there's a lot of positivity, then it also affects how they think. So there's so many different things. But actually, I was going to stop the recording. Yesterday, I stopped the recording before we did the Q&A, but I think we're still live on Facebook now. I'll stop that part. But I'm asking if anybody else has questions. Jeff, and I'm stopping the live stream now. All right. So I just stopped the live stream, but if somebody's raising their hand.
Miss Toyin.
Shannon.
Thank you for talking about cars today.
About what did you say?
No problem. My son is a car lover. He can tell you any.
Cars too.
You like cars too?
Cars.
All right. We love cars. Do you watch racing?
You watch racing?
Yes.
Yeah, and we play Hot Wheels.
Right.
Hot Wheels. I remember
Oh,
that.
yeah. I got about 2,000 Hot Wheels.
Yeah,
We
that's
have
about
bins and bins of Hot Wheels at my house.
Mm-hmm.
Hot Wheels are cars too.
I know.
Wheels, Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels, Hot Wheels.
This is real family time. This is real, so I know we're done already. We're just chatting now. We're not recording anything. So you feel free. There's no recording going on. Just feel free to ask whatever you want to ask. Now we're goofing around. They have a little bit more time to spend with us.
Is there anything else you
There's a lot that you said about ahead and self-confidence. Yeah. It's so important to have that mission, and a lot of families don't have the mission and vision statement. And even my family, at the beginning of each year, we talk about what our goals are, we don't want to call it goals, but what is our mission? What is our vision for the year? Because oftentimes when we call it a goal, and we put a time stamp on it, when we don't accomplish that goal within that time span, we don't expand the time or decrease the time to meet the goal. And we feel a lot of people end up feeling like they failed in that goal. So we're not defining ourselves by, it's good to make plans, but when you put, I don't know how to describe this now. There's how do I describe it now in terms of goal making? It's important.
Let me respond a little bit to what you said about, goals. If you don't reach it, some people feel like a failure.
Mm-hmm.
There is no failures.
Yeah.
There's lessons to be learned.
Right.
There was a result achieved. It may not have been the result that you had expected or had wished to make, but you made forward progress.
Right.
And every step forward is a positive step forward. Okay. And I try and look at it this way. And when I coach, just as long as you're making 1% better every day,
Mm-hmm.
and today is better than yesterday, you are having forward momentum.
Right.
And that's the biggest thing, is forward momentum. Doesn't matter how big or small it is. Okay. And people can get upset because they don't reach their goals. But as long as you're making progress, okay,
Yeah.
Progress makes the difference. Okay.
I like that. And yesterday, I think I said something like, practice doesn't make perfect. It makes progress. There's a teacher in my children's school that used to say that practice doesn't make perfect, because no one gets perfect.
No.
You can only make progress. So it's all this is very important, and it's good to include the children. I see. Is that Tumi? Tumi, you're just looking. Tumi, do you have any question?
No.
No, you don't? Okay, you're just listening. You're just soaking it in. Yeah, the thing about, and in the past, a lot of parents will sit down with their children and talk about life life lessons and stories and things. It's so important to make sure that the children don't think that the adults are perfect in any way, that everybody's just learning. It's so important to not put that perfect front, because they're not going to learn from the mistakes we make if we put up a perfect front. And it also makes them afraid, because a lot of children want to please their parents. They want to do everything to please their parents. And when they feel like they failed, when they feel like, oh, I had that goal and I didn't accomplish it, they're going to love me less. It puts a kind of fear, and they don't enjoy the journey. So like you were saying, sometimes it's all about that journey. We're stopping to smell the roses. And because we're so focused on the goal, then we forget to smell the roses and enjoy the process that it takes to get there, to get to that place we're trying to get to. So there are a whole lot of lessons learned. BC, my friend BC is on. Thank you so much for joining. I don't see your face, but I know you have a lot to contribute. You're not talking. All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for joining. And I also see my friend Larry as well. Thank you for joining. So we're going to wrap it up today. And tomorrow is going to be another great day. I'm hoping I'm going to forward the link to the Facebook group so that people can do their homework, hopefully do their homework. And the most important thing is to put it in practice. We're not just talking for talking's sake. We're not just talking to learn, because it's so important not to learn and not put things in action. And that's why, even though we didn't talk about it together as a group, everybody has been pointing towards action. Shannon talked about action, Jeff talked about action, and Chris talked about action yesterday. And I bet that the two speakers coming tomorrow will also talk about taking action, because it's so important to take action. And that's why the assignments are there. That's why it's a challenge. It's so that we can take action with our families. So everybody here is a family ambassador. If your whole family is not here, you're ambassadors to go back to your family and put the things that we've talked about into practice. Have each family member make a declaration statement. What are they about? What do they like? Like my daughter, I know she's there. I can see her. She talks about, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. And that is a driving force for her. In anything, she can say, I can do all things. Just like your son, just like what you had for your son. It makes you move. When you have a mission statement for yourself, because the vision is where you want to go to in future, but the mission is about what you're doing right now to take those actions. And it always includes your values. The mission always includes your values. So it's a lot to take in, but I know everybody has taken something or the other. So let's wrap it up. Everybody's still staying. Nobody wants to leave. Some people dropped off.
Let me add something. Can I add something about the action so people kind of understand, well, at least my point of view about action?
Yeah.
Is how many of you have watched a football game and watched the players huddle before they play? And they yell and they scream and they, yeah, and they get themselves all worked up and they get them all pumped. So that when they go out on the field, they're all full of energy and they can just give it and ram everybody, okay? When you take action in something, it gets your energy going. And when you get your energy flowing, it keeps flowing because energy regenerates itself. It keeps producing more. So even just a little step forward will get the energy going and it'll get easier to keep going. It's all about energy. So think of those football players that huddle up and they get themselves all riled up. They get out there and they ram the other guys. They get their energy up, they get it up and it keeps going. That's what action is all about. Because once you take that step, you can just keep going. It makes it so much easier. They always say the first step is the hardest because that's how energy works. If that makes it easier for you to understand why we're so pushing action.
Yeah. Just take the step, the baby step.
Yep.
One step at a time. Yeah, one step at a time. So, any other questions? Any? Any? All right. Okay, so we'll meet again at 6 p.m. tomorrow for the final day. And we'll be talking about branding. Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Thanks,
So much.
all right. Thanks, Shannon.
Thanks. So going to the site,
Thanks, Jeff.
Jeff and
Thanks,
Shannon,
Toyin.
Jeff and Shannon, if you can go in and put in your information on the site, that'll be great. So people can know where to go. Thank you, BC. So it's gonna be 6 p.m. tomorrow. We'll be talking about family branding.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Ms. Toyin's still talking. Listen for a minute.
It's okay.
Goodbye.
All right, bye. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye, everyone.
Thank you.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone. Thank you.
All right, all right. Thank you, Shannon. You were great.
Yep. Thank you. I kept it for the kids, I think, a little bit more. I had it planned out different, but after seeing all the kids,
Yeah.
when Chris spoke, I thought I'd better direct it more to them
Yeah.
than the.
I know. I noticed that, and it works because they are visual. A lot of kids are visual, and they will remember better once they see all those. Yeah.
Well,
Like
I had something really deep, really intense to talk about, but when I saw Chris and we saw all the kids there and what he talked about and the way he addressed everyone, I thought, I better do something more kid-oriented and keep everybody engaged, because I think if it was more of a parent thing, not a family thing, I would have been able to engage the parents a little better with something a little bit more
fine.
intense. So
It works. Seriously, it works. I know you've made some impact today, like those declaration statements. It really ties in with what the whole how a family picture is. It ties in with it. The fact that you have a family that already has it and you're living it makes it real to see that somebody's already doing it. So thank you.
Thanks. All right, one more day.
All right. Yeah. All right. Take care.
You too. Have a good night.
Bye.